Okay, we've got a console game this time. And he wants general DPS tips. So maybe we'll try and make it general. Maybe we'll be Genji tips. Depends a bit on what I see. We'll veer general, but really focusing on a hero tends to be better. But, you know, this is probably low enough that I can use general stuff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
I don't really want you with your team like this. I mean, your team sort of went left, so that turned this into a flank. I guess I can live with that. But then your team's dead. Good deflect. No, you need to fight the Tracer. There you go. Okay. So really, you should have recognized that you couldn't take the duel. I said fight the Tracer because fight the Tracer was better than fighting the Genji and dying to the Tracer. But you wanted to back out there. Even if it meant using dash to go get the health back. They didn't know if the health back was up or not, and they were likely to respect the health back. Rewind button doesn't work? That's really annoying. Just leave. Yeah, there you go. Okay. I go peek from this angle. Perfect. Why are you pressuring Rhine Shield? Like, there's a Genji over there. There was another character to the right of it. Like, sure, you can shoot at the Rhine Shield if there's nothing else to do, but you're not very good at breaking it. And even if you were, it's not what you want to do. You want to hit the heroes. If you hit a 200 HP hero, even if you do 50 damage to them, that checks them a little bit, changes how they play, etc., makes them tuck bind cover, makes them tuck bind the Rhine Shield, and if they tuck bind their Rhine Shield, they have a smaller angle, and they're going to hurt your team less. So take other shots when they're there, and if you do have to shoot at the Rhine Shield, I still generally wouldn't do it as Genji. I'd double jump up and hit down over them, etc., put a little pressure on them, etc. Though it depends a bit what your health is, how good your vertical cover is, etc. Okay. Yeah, there's a Lucio over there. Why are you on the Reinhardt? You're spending a lot of time doing shield break. Like, yeah, you broke the shield, but unless your team is coordinated, organized, we're playing shield break, which it shouldn't be with this comp. No! No! Let's watch that target selection again. Okay. So, your blue team. Let's take a look here. There's a Reinhardt there, there's a Lucio there, and there's a Ball there. Now, if you dash at the Lucio and the Reinhardt end up together, I guess I can live with that. I mean, usually you'd go kill the Mercy. You'd trust yourself to do it, but that's fine. We can live with this. Go kill the discorded Lucio. That's perfectly valid. So let's slow this down. No, you dashed at the Reinhardt. The Lucio's right there, and you dashed at the Reinhardt. No! You are not a tank buster as Genji. As a Genji, you are good for two things. You are good for taking duels with other DPS, and you are good for hunting supports. Those are the things you do. You are not interested in fighting tanks unless you have to. They're the only target available, or you're jockeying them for dive position, etc., and you're trying to like poke out a Winston from mid-range so that you can take the positioning that he's taking from the other side, etc. You aren't interested in blading Reinhardt's, shield breaking with shurikens. That is not how you play Genji.
I return to the fight.
Justice ain't gonna dispense it.
So McCree now? Okay.
We're all
Okay, we're just gonna play random heroes. Cool. There's a lot of time in a fight that your team was in. Yeah, now you're done. Now you leave. Of course, you should have... There we go. Drive off ball, that's fine. You can pressure the Rhine Shield, swap to the Lucio. Good. Yeah, you can shoot the purple Rhine, that's fine. Mercy, Mercy, she wants the res. Okay. Why did you run at the Reinhardt there? No. Like, were you trying to run past him so you didn't get shattered? Maybe I think I'm giving you too much credit. If you're going to run, you run to the side here, close the angle, and look, you'd have had a Tracer to duel if you'd done that and protected your Mercy. Would have been bonus points. But you're done, yeah.
Overtime.
Heroes never die.
I don't quit till the fight's done.
Okay, you had Danker point, so accept this positioning. Don't shoot at the hog who's taking a breather. You had targets to your right that you could shoot at. Like, if the hog was discorded or purple while taking a breather, sure. But he's gaining health and he's got 50% damage reduction while he's taking a breather. You shooting at him when there's nothing else available, or when he's super low, or when he has a debuff on him, potentially fine. You shooting at him when he's like half health and taking a breather and there's no debuff on him, he's literally doing his job correctly. He's pulling damage off of his team. That's why they changed how take a breather works, so that, you know, it's not just him feeding, etc. So, you know, there were other targets available and there were squishy targets available. You got to go for them. Okay, you want to stay back here? Yeah, well, too low. That's fine, this was junk time anyways.
Bones heal. Pain is temporary. Scars look good.
Super fast forward mode, since apparently I can't skip.
0 to 1. Ready for battle.
After yourselves out there. I'll get us home safe.
Quit screwing around and get ready to move.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Check this out.
Huh. So you wanted to hard be holding right the instant you saw ball, because him knocking you off was always going to be the play he would go for. Good. There's a Jake Genji. You're not respecting the Genji on you at all there. You're just sort of hoping he'd go away. Like, I don't mind you sprinting away to try and break line of sight on him, but you do want to then make a quick check to see if he followed you or not, rather than go, oh, let me go for these shots. There is no, like, oh, there's a flanker on me, I hope he leaves me alone. Like, you do have to check. You do have to put your cursor near him or put your cursor on where he's going to appear if he did follow you, even if it's just for an instant. So Lucio's not great. We'll take him as a target here, but he's not fantastic. I'd even prefer you go after Ball in this situation, because Lucio really isn't going to be picking up kills. There's not environmental kills for him to pick up. It's not like he's about to beat and save the day if he's left unpressured. Like, there's not a ton of work he can do here. Yes, dropping people into the pit does something, but it's really still probably the least dangerous of the heroes available. So that Ball to your left or that Mercy, both of those would be preferable targets. Pressure him. Don't get hooked though. Yep. Yeah, just play at range. Keep the hog between you and them. This is too dangerous otherwise. Yeah, good. Back off.
Heal up here.
You're in no man's land here. Get something resembling cover. There you go. No, I like high ground. Don't get me wrong. High ground is great. I imagine you're going up here to use the tack visor, but you had plenty of viable targets and there's a fight going on. And even though you're soldier and you have sprint, this is downtime while a fight is going on. You're not as fast as like a tracer or a ball, even with sprint like this, and this is meaningful downtime for time for positioning that isn't great. This high ground, it's okay, but it's not really great high ground as far as high ground goes. The vision that you get isn't all that helpful. Like in general, high ground is great, and if you want to go there between the fight or right as the fight you were transitioning there, I'd have no objection. That high ground just offers so much cover to the opponents compared to most high ground in this game. No, just give it up. You don't need to break those. Okay. At this point, you're stalling at point. You're not winning your way back into this. Yeah.
Knock me down and I'll keep getting back up.
Stay here. Nope, don't run forward. Don't run forward. You're just opening an angle here by running forward. When you were shooting to the left at the enemy that was basically in your team, that was fine, but you wanted to do that while this block was between you and the Roadhog and the Genji, so that they could not shoot at you while you shoot at the thing was there. You didn't want to scoot forward like this until your target was gone. And you don't need to be pushing the front line like this. Like, hey, yeah, it's cool to donate your health back like this, but let your hog get in front of you before you do this. You need him between you and that hog so that he can absorb hooks. You need him between you and that Genji so that you don't get, hog right-clicked plus Genji dash triple shuriken, etc. Like, you need him in the way. You shouldn't be this close yet. Okay, good job on that. Yeah, this is good. I like this wide angle. Taking the time for this small little wide angle, I mean, it naturally happened with how that Genji played out, but even if you had taken the time during this fight to naturally take this angle, it's a little faster than the high ground over there, meaningfully faster, in fact, and you were already on this side. This I like.
Get out of my way or I'll run you over.
Good.
Necessity.
Yeah, so this is okay. You're transitioning to high ground while there's not a real fight going on. There's just a little poke going on. Good. Yep. Good. So you're back in the game. Your soldier's noticeably better than your Genji so far.
Score 1-1.
Though some of that is that your Genji just will not forgive bad target prioritization. Well, your soldier, A, your target prioritization has been a bit better, but B, he is more forgiving of suboptimal target optimization. Okay, Ash, works for me.
Operational. Diva, ready for combat.
May.
world is worth fighting for.
5, 4,
Do you have a comp to run with May?
2, 1.
Not really.
The objective.
I mean, you have the May Reaper Lucio. That's good, and the Zarya can sort of fit. No, that wall was going nowhere fast. You had no business pushing that. You didn't have either of your cooldowns, and there was a Roadhog right in front of you. Like, no, like he doesn't need his hook to to left click you in the face at that range. And your freeze is way slow. You freezing him or other people is way slower than him looking at you in the face and left click triggering on you effectively. I'm still in PC mode.
The objective is
Okay. You actually want to be putting... Okay, now you have to zone out the Mercy, but you want to keep a little bit of pressure on the Tracer. He's low on cooldown. Obviously have to do it with Genji, you know that. Where's your wall, though? Like, you wanted to throw up your wall to block off the other team from advancing while you were trying to deal with this Genji. Because you could have separated him from his team completely when he came in with his blade like this. And it would have been just him versus everything that was still up on your team. Yeah, don't be afraid to use some icicles even when things aren't frozen, especially when they're a little further away like that, or while you're, backing up, trying to kite a little, etc.
Hey, 我又回来啦。
Where's your icicle? That was way slow. I don't care that you missed, you were just way slow to take the shot. Is your team really here to help? I guess. I don't like it. It's not terrible, though. I'm not going to pretend that that's terrible. It's just not great. Oh, now we're going Doomfist? No, now we're going Echo. Okay.
Nano boost administered. Looking on.
Not bad.
Adjusting angle of attack.
I don't like this. Like, yes, they're down a player, but they've effectively got the Roadhog and the Genji, and you're not at max distance. Like, you're poking into numbers where they do have more than you have. Oh, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I take it back. I'll live. You do you. I thought your team was further back. Yeah, good poke. Okay, so you're kind of letting them form a concave on you, which is what they want to do. You can see they're in a divey setup right now with their Genji Tracer and their ball. So you need to be chipping them out to stop their dive effectively from happening. They're staging and they're divers. So a dive team wins by spreading out their team before the engagement happens and then starting the engagement from all directions with a crisscross and getting a nice clean kill on a target. A poke team, which you're not really a poke team, you were closer to a brawl team. Now you're just a mishmash of heroes. But you right now are a poke hero, and a poke hero fights a dive team by chipping down their divers as they're trying to get into position. You were chipping in that direction, and that was fine. But it's even better if you can get a little chip on the ball or the Genji or the Tracer, force them to lose some health because they can't ever really make the dive happen if their Genji's down 100 health, their ball's down 200 health, and they're constantly having to wait to get heals. They're having to go get health packs, etc., because they have to live and you stage into slightly dangerous positions when a dive is happening. It's a little more dangerous than just standing on your side of the choke. You have to creep up around what we'll call the choke and kind of take your angles around. And because you're living around like that, it's harder for your healers to get you back up. You often have to go find health packs if you get chipped down, and you can delay a dive coming in by a lot or make them force a bad dive. It'll be a bad dive if they dive while missing a lot of health. So yeah, but shoot the Tracer, sure. You're probably not going to kill the Valkyrie Mercy. Like that's just when you had the tack visors, you had some great Valk Mercy kills, but you're not going to be. You're unlikely to pick up kills on the Valkyrie Mercy with Echo here. Prioritize your damage elsewhere. Yep. I'd still be looking to use your ult at this point. You hear the res going off, so that means it went from 6v6 to 5v5. It doesn't look like you're going to be able to deny that res, so that's fine. You're back to a 6v6, but now a little bit of the fight is broken down. Tracer's used some blanks. Mercy has used res. This is the type of time where your ult is going to have the most power, so let's go ahead out there and make sure we use our ult and get some value. There you go. A few seconds late, but just fine. Good. Okay, that's fine. You got the work done to make sure you win the fight. I mean, you still could lose, but you got reasonable work done.
Changing position. This will help.
Nothing's gonna stop. Let's get patched up.
Der Kampf ist noch nicht vorbei.
You probably didn't see it. Ideally, you would have stopped shooting to let Reaper be the one to wake it up because he'd get a fat meat shot, but it's projectiles. It's hard. Tracer behind you. Yep. Yeah. I wouldn't glue yourself to Ball like this. It's hard to really punish Ball, get a bunch of bombs on him, blow them up, etc. And Ball, while he's annoying and he's a little dangerous, a hero like Tracer, if you can get some chip damage on him, you can pick up a kill there. That's generally going to do more. Ball, put damage on him when he's what's available, but he should not be your first target unless he's available because he's come in off timing and the rest of his team isn't really in on you yet. So I'd have basically gone right and pushed back Tracer here. Yep, like that.
Victory.
Okay, so you played a bit of hero roulette, which makes overall advice for you a little tricky, but we're going to call it target selection. And this isn't just me being mean temporal, going after the console player and being like, no, you need to hit the crazy flick shots. You need to, have the perfect aim, etc. Because I get it, that's hard on console. But It's not so hard that you have to stay on Reinhardt as your main target when you're Genji. You can't do that. It's not so hard that when you're Soldier, you go, I'm going to shoot at this Lucio, who isn't a super easy target, but I'm going to shoot at this Lucio when there's a Mercy over here that I could be shooting at instead. Or I'm going to focus on this ball when, oh, hey, look, there's actually a tracer over here to the right that I can put more value into chipping down. Absolutely take shots at Rhine shields, at balls, etc. when they're the shot that's there, when they're in early, etc. But really, there's a lot you can be doing with target selection to improve your game. And if we're talking hero roulette where you played 4 different heroes, that's going to be the best advice. That's going to be the best general advice I'm going to give you, since you wanted stuff that was applicable to sort of all of your heroes. Anyway, hope that helps. If anyone else wants a VOD review or wants a live lesson, go ahead and reach out to me through Discord, Twitter, YouTube. You can reach out to me and I'll quote you a price. That's all. Temporal out.